you stated that you came before this commission voluntarily to come and assist the commission. Is that not so?
That is correct, Chair.
Just to confirm that you were never issued with any notice by the commission for you to come before the commission.
I confirm that I did not receive a notice.
Thank you very much. Before we get into the details of the kind of assistance you want to render to the commission, may I just take you to paragraph 5. The heading there is educational background and career history. From paragraph 5 up to paragraph 11, you stated or you explained to the commission what your position was and your career progression in the SAPS. You confirmed that.
I confirm that.
Can you just briefly inform the commission when you joined the police and what have you been doing during your employment with the SAPS?
Commissioners, in short, I joined the SAP as a constable, student constable in 1984. Then I was stationed at Pretoria North Station. From June 1984 until November 1984, I received my training at the police college, and then I was sent to Internal Security Head Office, where I was a constable and started my career in the police. From 1991 to 1994, I was a warrant officer, and I was working at Crime Intelligence Services, dealing mainly with administration and also investigations pertaining to security legislation, as well as suspicious activities of groups or members against the security of the state. From 1997 to 2006, I was here then part of serious and violent crime. The whole unit moved to serious and violent crime because we were an operational office. So from there on, I was part of SBC. In 2001, I was promoted to superintendent, and my duties there as well is dealing with inquiries, dealing with administrative issues, and I was also at a certain time, I was an acting commander for the personnel services at serious and violent crime, and also for CATS, crimes against the state. From 2006 to 2010, there was a restructuring in 2006, and then I was placed at Pretoria Central Detectives for a short while, but because of the investigation of the Boerenmag, I was temporarily placed back at the Hawks to assist the investigating officer at the High Court in Pretoria. So from there on, I was engaged there until 2013, when the trial, when those people were convicted and sentenced, and then I was placed back into the Hawks environment as an investigator, an administrator, and dealing with various tasks at the Hawks.
Thank you, Colonel. In paragraph 11, as you explained that when the Boerenmag trial was concluded, you returned to your position, and one of the duties that you performed related to the management of the SAPS 13 register. You confirm that?
I can confirm that, Commissioners. I was the person that was involved in SAP 13. It entails registering of all exhibits entered into that register and for safekeeping and assisting the investigators with their duties.
Okay, maybe just to explain what is SAP 13?
The SAP 13 is a register that is kept, it's normally at the police station, where exhibits in a certain case is entered, like, for instance, cell phones, laptops, any evidential matter is then placed and registered under a unique number in that register. And when the case goes to trial or there's a disposal, you use that register, and it is managed by a national instruction on how to dispose of, how to store, and everything related to exhibits.
And this would be exhibits that have been used in the commission of crime. Correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Thank you. Now we can proceed to the next item, involvement in the TRC cases. You start off in paragraph 12 by informing the Commission that on the 24th March 2004, I assisted with the administrative process during the transfer of dockets and files from the Office of the National Prosecuting Authority to the SAPS. The said documents emanated from the TRC process and were handled by Senior Superintendent H. Brett and Director F. Nell, who had previously been seconded to the NPA to assist with the TRC investigations. You confirm that?
I confirm that, Chair.
In paragraph 13, you state as follows: my involvement in the transfer of the documents was pursuant to an instruction I received from Colonel Louis Bester, who was my commander at the time, to assist with the logistical arrangements associated with the movement of the offices of Senior Superintendent Brett and Director Nell. This resulted in documents in possession of Senior Superintendent Brett and Director F. Nell being moved from the NPA's office at Church Square, Pretoria, to the 8th floor of Detective Services at head office at Wagte's building in Pretoria. And then you further state that your involvement in the movement of Senior Superintendent Brett's and Director Nell's office was accordingly recorded in your diary, and you attached a copy of the said diary as VC1 to your answer, to your affidavit. You confirm that?
I confirm that, Chair.
Okay. Perhaps if you may just briefly just to elaborate more in terms of what happened when you received the instruction, the movement, what did that movement entail?
Chair, the movement entailed that I had, as a senior member, I took some of my members, we went to the NPA offices on Church Square, and we removed all the boxes. All those boxes was dockets and also documents that were stored in the safe where Senior Brett and Director Frank Nell were sitting. So all those boxes we had to remove from the square to the 8th floor at Detective Service. So we had, it's not in my statement, we had 2 or 3 vehicles to remove all those boxes. It was quite a lot that we had to move.
Thank you. Colonel, paragraph 14, you stated as follows: I then developed a register listing all cases that were transferred from the NPA to Wagte's, which is 8th floor, to ensure proper record keeping on the part of the SAPS. And then to your affidavit, you annexed a copy of the list of dockets that were entered in the register. And then that is attached to your affidavit and marked as VC2. Do you confirm that?
I confirm that, Chair.
And then perhaps if I may take you to VC2. That appears on page 11 of your affidavit, paginated page 11. Sorry, VC2 would be on page 12. My apologies, yes, page 12.
That's correct.
My apologies. You have it. You confirm that is the list that the register that you're referring to.
That's correct.
And then if I may then just ask, there is some handwritten notes on top of that document. The one that starts with ANC there, do you see that?
Yes, Commissioner.
Whose handwriting was that?
This is the handwriting of Senior Brett.
Okay. Perhaps if you may just read into the record, if you can, as to what is written on that document.
It is written ANC ondersoeke, dossiere, DOV PG onderzoekspan.
Are you able to translate just English?
It says that it's ANC investigations, dockets, at the the NPA officers, it's their investigation team.
Okay. And then just underneath, there's a number, the 395.
That's correct.
What, did you understand what the 395 meant?
The 395 that is written there is the dockets that I moved from the NPA offices to the 8th floor at detective services.
So it refers to the number of dockets that were...
That was the number of dockets.
Thank you, Colonel. Let's proceed to paragraph 15, wherein you stated that with the initial batch of documents transferred from the NPA to Wagtes as instructed by Colonel Bester, a separate audited list was derived from about 10 boxes. I drafted an index for each box to ensure that they were numbered and sealed as advised by Colonel Bester. You further say, state that the status of classification for the purpose of compliance with minimum information security standards, that refers to the missed documents of the list had not been verified at the time of deposing to this affidavit, but same can be attended to should the commission require me to do so. You confirm that's the content?
I confirm.
Okay. Perhaps if I may just ask you to elaborate more in terms of upon receipt of that, the audit, that process, as to how did you go about that?
Chair and Commissioners, I was instructed to do an audit of those boxes. It was 10 boxes, and inside it was loose documents. If I can recall, it was reports on investigations, if I can recall correctly. So all of those dockets was loose. So I had to audit it. I made a list for each box, and then we sealed the boxes on instruction of Colonel Bester.
And then your indication that classification of the document had not been ascertained at the time when you deposed this affidavit for compliance with minimum information security standard.
It is
Can
correct.
you just explain, yes?
Yes, it is correct,
What the
Chair.
document is about. Sorry, Colonel, yes, just to explain what the missed document is about.
The missing document is an instruction where certain classified, how you deal with certain classified documents from top secret right to confidential. How you deal with this if you should send it to another office, you had certain documents that had to accompany those documents. And in this case, the missed document, it must be stored in a certain way if it is classified. So it must be under lock and key. If you have an inquiry file and you are working on it, after the day, it must be locked into a safe. It cannot lie on your table. So all confidential or secret, top secret must be locked away after the end of business day. The same with these. We sealed these boxes with a unique seal, and after sealing these boxes, I set up an index, and for each box there is a list of what is inside those boxes.
Thank you. Before the documents were sealed, did you get to check what was contained in the boxes?
All I can recall, it was reports. I cannot recall what it was about. According to me, it is investigations, progress. That is all that I can confirm now.
Thank you. Paragraph 16, you stated that at the time Senior Superintendent Brits was responsible for the safekeeping of the documents until his retirement in February 2005. At the time, Senior Superintendent Brits was responsible for the safekeeping of the documents until his retirement in 2005, and the documents stored at Wagtes primarily fell into two categories. And then you say, firstly, there was a file containing decisions already taken by the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit, PCLU, not to prosecute. And then second category comprised of the dockets regarded as finalized by the investigating officers involved. Now, You confirm that is the contents of your affidavit.
Chair, Commissioners, I confirm.
And then if I may just ask you to inform the commission, how did you know that there were dockets that already were decided upon by the PCLU? How did you know?
When we moved the dockets, it was already closed at the front cover of the docket, so it is finalized. And in regards to the not to prosecute, there was a memorandum that were in some of those dockets from the litigation unit.
And the memorandums would have indicated that there were decisions taken not to prosecute, as you said.
That is correct.
Thank you. We can then proceed to paragraph 17 of your affidavit, wherein you stated that from the initial batch of boxes received in March 2004, the number of files had almost doubled by the year 2005, and Senior Superintendent Brez kept a control register of all matters that were added to the initial list I had drafted. After the retirement of Senior Superintendent Brez, Colonel Bester became responsible for safekeeping of the documents with my assistance. You confirm that?
I confirm that, Chair.
He then later instructed that the documents be transferred close to his then office at CAT's offices in Pisache Street. And that would have been Colonel Bester.
It is, I confirm it's Colonel Bester.
You stated, you further state that due to my temporary assignment at the Boeremark trial, I unfortunately lost track of my diaries and cannot recall the actual date on which the movement of the documents occurred from Bachtes to Pisache Street. You confirm that?
I confirm that, Chair, Commissioners.
Okay. In paragraph 17, you essentially inform the Commission that upon retirement of Senior Superintendent Brett, your office took total control of all the documents that were under custody of Senior Superintendent Brett, correct?
That is correct, sir, Commissioners.
And then paragraph 18, you stated as follows: according to the manual register kept, several TRC cases were received for investigation since 2010. In demonstrating this to the Commission, the first TRC cases referred by the PCLU to the DPCI during March 2010 were recorded as follows. So that you do confirm that that paragraph, the contents of paragraph 18.
I confirm that, Commissioners.
Okay. Now, if you may just explain to the Commissioners those cases 18.1 up to 18.9, just to confirm that VC3, VC4, VC5, VC6, 7, up to 11, that they do refer to the cases that you refer to in paragraph 18.
That is correct, Commissioners.
If I may request you to go to VC4 in respect of paragraph 18.2, the one dealing with investigation of Bassi Smith, the poisoning of Reverend Chukani.
That's correct.
Yeah. May I request you to go to VC4? That will be on page 31
Correct.
of your bundle. Can you just inform the Commission what document appears on VC4?
Commissioners, on VC4, it's a letter from the Priority Crimes Litigation Unit of to address to Senior Supervisor, in which they required investigation. The heading of this letter is Investigation Bassi Smith, Poisoning of Reverend Frank Chikane.
Okay. And then there's a handwriting just at the bottom of page 31 there.
That is correct, Commissioners.
Whose handwriting is that? Do you know?
This handwriting is Senior Supervisor's handwriting.
Okay. You mean by Senior Superintendent Bester, you mean Colonel Bester? Louis
Colonel Bester, yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's go to page 32 of the same document, Colonel.
Yes, but this note, handwritten note, what does it say? Can you read that?
Excuse me, sir?
The handwritten note,
The handwritten note, yes.
can you read that?
Yes, Commissioner, it's an instruction to Captain Makua. It says, Captain Makua, soos bespreek, bring yourself op hoogte van die onderzoek.
And what does that mean?
The instruction to him is that, as we discussed, familiar yourself with this investigation and give me feedback to that extent.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Anton.
Thank you, Commissioner Khuma. I must indicate that I attempted to, I actually tried to get the witness to do some interpretation. I think she was struggling with the handwriting, but I suppose we can take it that she does, or she is able to read that handwriting.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Khuma. Page 32 of the same document, Colonel, I'd like to refer you right at the bottom, where it starts with, in the light of the above. And I'd like to request you to read into the record what is written.
What's written?
Yes.
In light of the above, before commencing on a lengthy and costly investigation, it is recommended that Reverend Chikani be approached at a senior level and requested to indicate whether he in fact desires any further investigation in connection with this matter. If he does not, I would recommend to the National Director that the matter be closed.
And as you said, this was a letter that came from Advocate McAdam.
That is correct.
To Colonel Bester at the time.
That is correct.
Thank you very much. And then perhaps if you can just explain again those annexes, your VC3 up to VC11, as to where did you derive that information? Or where did you get that information?
The information on my statement, Chair, is these letters that we received in 2010 from VC1 right up to the end. It is the headings that the originator did. So if you look at the letters, the heading would say Investigation Cambridge. So I took the headings and I listed it according to all those letters that we received for investigation.
Okay. Thank you. Paragraph 19, you stated that given the sensitivity around such investigations, the TRC cases that were registered for investigation at head office are reflected according to the respective years. A copy of the list is annexed to this affidavit and marked as VC12. You confirm that?
I confirm that, Chair, Commissioners.
And then perhaps if I may just take you to VC12.
It's page 54.
I'm indebted to you. Thank you, Commissioner Gabriel. It's page 54. Can you explain that register? How did you come about that register?
Chair, Commissioners, this is a typed version of a handwritten register that we kept. I say it is a manual register that we write in daily. If you get a new investigation, it gets a unique number for that month, and it is entered, and also then it is registered on the crime administrative system, and it also gets a unique number. Now this document that on 54, it is extract from that manual register, and it is only the TRC cases. So if you should look at the pages, you will see that the inquiry numbers is not in order. There is gaps in between. That is other investigations that are dealt with by CATS. So if I can refer you to 54, Commissioners, number 1, it says inquiry 1 of 8. And number 2, it says inquiry 5 of 8. So that indicates investigations that were dealt with or investigated by CATS that is not part of this list.
So in other words, you selected those cases.
We selected those cases per year.
Otherwise, there would have been a register kept that includes all cases investigated by CATS.
Correct.
In understanding.
That is correct,
Okay.
Commissioners.
And then paragraph 20, you stated that a document that I could trace which demonstrates the continuous commitment by CATS to investigate and finalize the TRC cases related to the year 2017, wherein a progress report was submitted in response to a request for information by the United Nations. The following cases. Apologies, Commissioners. My sincere apologies, Commissioners. This is my laptop. That's not on silent. My sincere apologies, Commissioners. We're in paragraph 20. You confirm the contents of paragraph 20, Kenel.
I confirm, Chair and Commissioners.
The following cases were then listed as being part of the TRC investigations. Then from paragraph 20.1 up to 20.16, you listed those cases.
That is correct, Commissioners.
And this related to the TRC cases as you indicated.
That is correct.
And then paragraph 21, you then refer to an unsigned letter referring to a letter dated 11th February 2017 from the acting National Commission at the time. And you indicated that it is recorded that these additional cases were received for further investigation in relation to the TRC cases. A copy of the letter is attached here too and marked as BC 13. You confirm the contents of paragraph 20.
I confirm the contents, Commissioners.
And then if perhaps we may then go to that paragraph, Anisha, BC 13 that appears on page 67 of the bundle that's in front of you.
Page 67.
67, Commissioner, 67, yes. So that is the letter that you're referring to in that paragraph.
I
Correct.
confirm that, Commissioners.
And then on top there, it's Colonel Mahlangu and Colonel Maluleka. Who were those officers?
They were part of the investigating officers at CATS.
And you say this letter was addressed to the head of organized crime. Who was the head of organized crime at the time?
2017, it would be head of organized crime. It will be in the tenure of General Dramat. I think it's Kana.
Maybe just to assist you, it's
Please.
unsigned, but at the end of it,
Let me just have a look.
yes, page 73.
Oh, yes. The head of organized crime was Major General Ledwaba. That's correct.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for that.
And then if I may just refer you to page 68, paragraph 1.7, maybe just for completeness sake, may you just read from 1.5, paragraph 1.5, read that into the record up to paragraph 1.7.
The Department of Justice and Constitutional Development is mandated to audit, monitor, and coordinate the implementation of TRC recommendations that were approved by government, which include criminal investigations against those who were refused amnesty. The Justice Department is further mandated to report to Cabinet and Parliament on the government's progress on the implementation of the recommendations as approved. 1.7, a task team was established at this office with the aim to speed up all TRC criminal investigations referred to the Directorate for Priority Crime Investigation in 2010 by the Priority Crime Litigation Unit.
Thank you. And then paragraph 2, there's a heading says cases on hand.
That's correct.
Yes, and then just underneath it reads, the investigation of 9 matters are currently being conducted by the DPCI, CATS, and managed by the PCLU. You confirm that is what is contained in the document.
That is correct.
And then what is then contained in the said paragraphs, you have a list of cases being referred to there. Can you just inform the commissioners what these cases involved, in essence? What do they relate to?
Commissioners, this is all TRC related matters. So what they did is they listed all the cases on hand at that time in 2017. And if one looks at it, the first five was already in my list that I compiled, and then new ones were then added as the years progressed.
And the new ones, that would be from paragraph 2.6.
It's 2.6 from Orlando Cares 392 of 11 right up to the end.
And then in paragraph 3, the heading, the following new matters received from NPA emanate from TRC cases and are still under investigation.
That is correct.
So this would have been matters that were received subsequent to those ones that you just mentioned now from the NPA.
It is correct, yes.
And then the list goes on. And if you go to paragraph 4, the heading there, prosecutions were however instituted in the following cases. You then refer to 4.1 and 4.2. It refers to State versus Terra Blanche and State versus Blani. You confirm that is what is contained in
I confirm, Commissioners.
And then paragraph 4.3, State versus Newtown and others. That one, perhaps if you can just read into the record what is stated in 4.3.
4.3, State versus Newtown and 2 others. The accused, 3 former security branch members, was charged with murder, kidnapping, and assault of 3 Port Elizabeth activists. It is the PEPCO 3 incident. Although the accused were indicted in the Port Elizabeth High Court, the case was on an ongoing basis postponed and withdrawn due to the lack of evidence after a period of 5 years.
Thank you. And then paragraph 5, just in conclusion there, if you can just read from paragraph 5.1 in terms of challenges in our TRC investigations.
5.1, the original case dockets and documentary exhibits were either lost, misplaced, and or never returned by the TRC investigations to the original stations. 5.2, the TRC investigating officers are no longer available to assist with the missing documents. 5.3, most of the witnesses had since died. The whereabouts of some are unknown. Others are either unwilling to cooperate or cannot recall the events due to the lapse of time. In other cases, the accused persons had died.
Then 5.4, just as the last one.
5.4, in one case of PEPCO 3, the criminal case dragged on for considerable time because of the review application by the accused, which resulted in the case being withdrawn. The prosecution and investigators have encountered problems in reconstructing the records and scenes.
Thank you. Kenna? Now, in paragraph 22, you stated that feedback by members of CATS was provided in various ways, including daily interactions, management
Sorry,
meetings.
Chair, I don't mean to interrupt my colleague, but we were just wondering, would it be possible for the witness to read the entire document into the record for the context.
Yes, Ms. Ranto?
Chair, if my colleagues want to go through that document, and it's been there, the affidavit has always been there, and I assume that anybody who would have read the affidavit would have read
Yes.
the annexures as well. So I didn't want to waste the commissioner's time.
Yes.
And it's important just to mention that, well, there is a reason why we mentioned those ones, but
Yeah.
it will become apparent later, yes.
Ms. Pillay, I think I cannot direct Ms. Ranto how to lead her witness.
Thank you, Chair. We'll take the witness
Yes.
through the document.
Thank you, Chair. We were in paragraph 22, where you stated that feedback by members of CATS was provided in various ways, including daily interactions, management meetings, information notes, and progress reports to the section head. Since 2018, accountability sessions were held and reports were submitted to the section head of CATS monthly. You confirm?
I confirm, Commissioners.
And then if perhaps you may just elaborate further in terms of progress. You spoke of accountability sessions that were held and reports that were submitted to the section head. Can you just elaborate more in terms of what you meant by accountability sessions?
The accountability session was, there is a live document that is updated daily as well as monthly, Commissioners. And in this document, it will be similar to the VC 13 document, where there is a case number, a synopsis, the victims, persons involved, and then it will say investigation conducted, investigation outstanding. So during the accountability sessions, the members, the investigators, they had to give feedback to the section head. During those accountability sessions, then they must indicate what they managed to do as per the list of instructions. And then that document is then, excuse, is also directed to the commander of CATS, sorry.
Need some water.
Sorry. So, not gonna go.
Sorry about that. Are you in position to still proceed? We go to paragraph 23.
Give me 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Commissioners, may we just request perhaps just a 5 minutes break?
Yes. We'll adjourn for 5 minutes.
most of the things.
I beg your pardon, Commissioner.
I say we understand. Maybe it would help if you read most of the things.
I will do so.
Yes.
Yes, yeah, I think the witness is struggling with her voice.
Thank
I
you,
will
Commissioners.
I will heed to Commissioner Khomo's advice and read out to you and then you confirm. In paragraph 23, you stated that since 2021, the TRC task team was set up at CAT's head office and some of the provinces categorized into 5 regions for investigations of the TRC cases. All the cases that were outstanding before the time were then transferred to the newly appointed investigators through the reenlistment of previous detectives on a contract basis. Just explain the formation of the 5 regions to the commissioners, just to make it clear.
Commissioners, all these cases were investigated at National Head Office. When the task team in 2021, there were people re-enlisted, investigators were re-enlisted to solely concentrate on the TRC cases. So all of them were then recruited on a contract basis, and all the cases that were with head office were then redistributed to all those members. So at head office, we received 14 new investigators to take over some of our investigations.
Thank you, Colonel. We can go to paragraph 24, where it stated as follows: after the retirement of Colonel Bester and from the year 2012, the section head of CATS, Brigadier Enclava, who retired in March 2025, took over and ensured that cases that were registered at CATS were being effectively investigated accordingly. You confirm that's your statement?
I confirm, Commissioners.
You further state that from November 2022, the TRC cases became the responsibility of the National Coordinator, Colonel N. Binkuna, who is part of those re-enlisted on contract, reporting to Brigadier M.J. Motle as the commander of CATS. Confirm.
That is correct, Commissioners.
Paragraph 25. Following a takeover from Colonel Bester upon his retirement, I became responsible for the safekeeping of the documents stored at Fisage Street. I continue to update the record as and when documents were received for safekeeping. The last list I compiled reflects the status of the documents that were received for safekeeping in 2019. And then you attached Annexure VC 14 as the list, the updated list that you compiled before you left, at the end of 2019. But can you confirm the contents of paragraph 25?
I can confirm.
And then, if I may request you to go to VC 14, it's on page 75 of the bundle, Commissioners.
74.
Sorry, it's page 74
74.
of the bundle. Do you have it in front of you, Ken?
I've got it. Thank you.
So you do confirm that that is the list that you compiled
That is correct, Chair.
of the status as at 2019.
That is correct.
And then, Commissioners, just the last paragraph, in conclusion, it is stated as follows. In conclusion, I neither participated nor witnessed any participation by any member of the SAPS in any efforts to stop any investigations and or prosecution of any cases related to the TRC or otherwise. Do you confirm that is your
I
statement?
confirm that, Commissioners.
Commissioner, that brings us to the end of evidence in chief by Lieutenant Colonel Kotsia.
Thank you. Ms. Kersney?
Thank you, Chair. We have no questions for this
Thank you.
witness.
Mr. Force?
Thank you, Chair. No questions from us.
Yes. Anyone online?
Thank you, Chair. Advocate Lukele for the NPA. No questions for this witness. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Ms. Pillay?
Thank you, Chair. We'll bring an application to cross this witness, to
Yes.
cross-examine this witness.
Yes. Thank you. Noted.
Thank you.
Mr. Siminya?
For that reason, Chair, we defer our questioning of the witness.
Yes. Ms. Ranto?
Commissioners?
I dare say there is nothing to say after that.
No, nothing.
Thank you.
Commissioners, thank you.
Lieutenant Colonel Kutsie, we thank you for having come to this commission to give evidence. There is an intention to bring an application to cross-examine you, and once that application has been brought, it will be decided and a ruling made whether to cross-examine you, in which event you will be requested to come back to this commission for such cross-examination. But for now, you are excused as a witness.
I understand. Thank you,
Thank
Chair.
you. These proceedings are adjourned until tomorrow at 10 o'clock.